Most companies and individuals that I know need to make modifications to the view titles inside of the project environment. Now, to do this, what I like to do is go into the template file and then find those view titles. But first, we should take a look at how the view title looks currently. To do this, I'm currently in the template and I'm just going to create a new sheet by right-clicking on the word Sheets under the project browser and do a new sheet. I can pick a title block. And now I'm going to drag one of these views out onto the sheet. Ultimately, I will delete this so that it won't show up inside of our template. And this is what our view title currently looks like. Now, unlike a lot of the typical Revit families, if you try to select on the view title, it won't give you a button up here that says Edit Family. So to make a modification to it, you need to look for it underneath Families in the project browser, scroll down, and if you've made a custom one, it may be named differently. But in this case, I'm looking for the words View Title, and this is the one that I want to edit, and you can find that underneath Families and Annotation Symbols. Once you find View Title, select on it, right-click, and then go to Edit, and this will open it up in the Family Editor. As we can see, right now it has some text, it also has a circle, and it has a number. Don't leave the screen, stay right where you're at, but I want to show you something. I'm going to close down this view. And I want to point out that there's a straight line that goes across here. This is separate from the view title family itself. In fact, that's actually in the properties of the view title. If I select on the view title and then come in here to edit type, we can see it says show extension line and it has a check mark. That's exactly that line that we're looking at right there. So if for some reason you don't want to see that line, or if you'd like the line weight be different for that line, you would do it underneath the type properties of it back inside of your project environment. I want to make a modification to this. One of the things that people often do is they'll make this level 1 be bigger. It's pretty rare for the name of the view title to be the same size as the scale factor down below it. So if we wanted to make that larger, we would once again come in here to the project browser, find it underneath Annotation Symbols, and I'm going to right-click and go to Edit. Now here it's open. I can select on this piece of text, go into its properties, and then make modifications to this label through here. I'll point out that I can select right here where it has label, and if there was any other kind of label that I could pick it off of the list, maybe something that had different properties. Or I can click on Edit Type right there, and then from here I can type in that I want this to be 1/4 of an inch or something larger. Now, this is important to realize. If I make a change to it here, this is not the only label that's in this project. Now, it's the only label type that's in the project, but it's not the only label. This 1/8 inch as well as the number 1 are also a label. So what we really need to do is create a new label type that is of a different size. And your best bet to do that is to select on the duplicate button and then give this something that you can recognize, such as 1/4 inch for a name. I'm going to click on OK to that and then change the text size to be 1/4 of an inch. As a result of this, we now have 2 different labels. One which is just called label, and it's 1/8 of an inch. Another which is called 1/4 of an inch, and we can see it's 1/4 of an inch in size. Font, bold, or italic, we can change all that information here underneath the word text. Next, I'm going to click on OK. We can see that this is much bigger now. If we needed this circle to be bigger, we could just draw it using our Create tools and using the line work tools. We also could add extra labels, put in extra text. So if we wanted the word scale here, we could just click text, type in the word scale, and then move this label over. So it's through this menu where we can modify all of these settings. In this case, this is the way that I like to see it. So I'm just going to load this back into the project by selecting on the Load in the Project button. I'm going to override the existing version, and now we can see that this view title is now larger. It has this larger piece of text associated with it. So if you need to make modifications to your view titles, this is the process by which you need to do it. Start off by going underneath your project browser, expanding out your families, annotation symbols, scrolling down, and then finding your view titles from your families here under the project browser. Right-click, go to Edit for Edit Type, and then from here, you can make modifications to it by either redrawing the individual things or by selecting on labels or the text and then going in and making modifications to those existing ones, or by selecting on edit type, duplicating, creating new types, which will give you different sizes, different fonts, whatever settings that you would like, and then loading it back into the project and overriding the existing properties that are there, and it will update all those titles throughout the entire project environment. So by going through those steps, you've now had the ability to modify the way that these view titles display and look in your projects.